everyone. Welcome to the Bookover, our little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, and with me is Megan.
Hi.
And today we are talking about Vandals, or I should call them the 82nd Street Vandals. Books 1, 2, and 3, because the rest are not out yet. And Megan and I could not wait any longer to talk about them.
Yeah.
Well, because Megan recommended that I read them.
Yeah.
And I did. And I love them so much that I think I finally was like, can we do a show on them? And you're like, yes.
I'm like, of course. I was so excited when I got your text messages of like, oh, I'm liking this, to like, I'm obsessed with this, to like, it's like one of your favorites. And I'm so excited. I was just so excited. I was like, I mean, it's like when you really love a series and really love a book, you tell people about it and you want them to love it as much as you do, and then they actually do. It's the best thing ever.
It is. It really is. And
so, yeah,
I love, for everybody, the text message progression too. It would go like, who are the guys? You know, please,
I know. I'm trying to
please tell me Vaughn is. Please tell me Liam is. Please tell me. And like, even like the Liam thing is just like kind of there on like book 3.
I had to keep my mouth shut about Liam
too.
He became a favorite. I couldn't tell you, hey, Liam's my favorite now. Well, Freddie's number 1. I'm sorry, I'm all about my Freddie, but I could not say Liam's like my favorite now because I didn't think Liam was going to be in the harem. And I wanted that sure to not know. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't think anybody knew when Heather was putting out the promotional stuff. I remember at first, I don't remember there being all the guys. Like there was like these shirtless, like in like certain groups, there was this shirtless pics and like the bird names, like for contests. And I don't think all the guys were listed. So it was like, wait, I had like Doc for me. Did not, the way he talked about her body, like in such a clinical method, like a girl, I did not think until the very, very end, I never even considered him that he might become part of the harem.
Really?
Will he become part of the harem? I don't know. Okay.
I don't know, but I did. I think I just have so much hope that he will.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a chance that he won't.
Mm-hmm.
But I have so much hope. Because even Freddie, for me,
will he? Because he's
will
not,
he or won't he be? Because right now they're very
People love him, but he's not.
There's no
part of the harem, really. There's no love.
Not yet. Okay, so let's get started.
We got to talk about book 1, but I will say in book 3, in a pivotal moment, who does she message? She messages Freddie.
Yes.
But is that best friend, or is that a lover?
Yeah, who knows? And Freddie has a special, I know at the beginning, Freddie was not one of my top guys, but the more and more I read and the more and more I learned about Freddie and got a Freddie, especially in book 3, even, which we'll go there.
Yeah.
He has a really special place in my heart. So either he's going to be a best friend or he's going to be a lover. As long as he's there, I think I'll be okay. I don't need him to be a lover. I just need him in a relationship with her somehow.
Yeah.
You're like, eh.
No, I'm just thinking how I wish that we had Heather here to ask. I was just thinking, no, we need.
She's not going to answer us. She's going to say,
Heather.
We know Heather enough from that one interview that she's just going to say, I can't tell you, or just smirk. And I almost want Blake there, even though she's not part of this book, just so she can keep that straight face the whole time.
She's a big enough fan. She's part of it. She's like, yeah.
Right. Right.
All right. Goodness.
So let's start at the first book.
Yeah.
Savage Vandal.
Oh.
I mean, it's an important book, and I like the start of it because I had no clue. Like, you didn't tell me. I had no clue. I don't even think I read the blurbs of these books. I was just recommended by Megan to read the books. I read the books. I trust her.
Thank you.
You're welcome. and it was like, I had no clue where I was going, what it was what I had no clue what was to be. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved her in the theater and her driver and the guy fixing her door.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're like, what's going on?
What's going on, you know? And then you get these other POVs.
And you don't see, that's the thing. Even having a little, like, reading the blurb and stuff, I didn't know what was going on either. I was confused. And I think that we had even gotten Jasper's POV, like, was released to, like, the group before the book came out. And I remember reading it and still being very confused and being like, what? I don't understand what's going on here. I did not see that coming either, which I loved. Like, I think they did a good, I mean, you do, the blurb did say something about she doesn't belong in our world, but we need to protect her. So I guess I had some kind of inclination, but I did not know it was going to be a full-on Stockholm Syndrome type of book.
Right.
However, the best thing is when you do it differently, where, hey, these guys are being really, really nice to me, but they're also my kidnappers. So it was like what an interesting take on it, where it's like the guys are being nice to her. They're really saving her. They're kidnapping her to save her.
Yes. And so that's the thing about it, is like they find her in that fight with Eric.
Yes.
And they save her. And then there's like, they're almost arguing and not agreeing about it. And I'm like, what? Why is this a thing yet? And then all the bird names at first, I'm like, wait, who? You know, I'm like, who is this? And I knew, I started highlighting people and I was like taking notes, because I'm like, how many of these guys are there and everything? And then it's like, you know, and then with Doc, and how she like really trusted Doc, and like Doc knows things about her just from like her body.
Yeah.
And then and everything. And then
but he's kind of left out of the loop. It's like Doc is like, what are you bringing to me? What is this? Like, he's apprehensive. He's treating them, but he's also judging them. And he's like, this is my patient first, yet I can't help you at the same time. So we got very conflicting things from Doc, where he seems like a good guy, but he's not helping her. But then later on, you find out, okay, he is buying his time to help her. Oh, there's just so many levels. There's just so many levels. And that's just book one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I loved it. And I did love Freddie when he like sees Emerson and
when she's naked. Like, that came out of nowhere. Did you expect that? Like, out of nowhere, he's just like going for it, talking about it.
Yeah.
That was great.
I loved, I don't know. The first book hooked me, obviously. And I could understand her. It must be weird for somebody in that situation. You're rescued. These guys are nice to me, but like keeping me here. But like, is this a better alternative than my normal life? And it's just mind, like, it's like, what is going on? And then we get into, I can't remember. Okay. When does she try to leave? When Doc takes her to the hotel?
So it was the first book where she tries to leave. And then throughout the first book, even though she was coming around, Jasper made her a dance studio. She had gotten away from her abusive guy. She knew that they had him and like were torturing him. But like her brain and she was like, she like felt, she like, her and Vaughn hooked up. I think she felt very betrayed by Kestrel for a long time, because I feel like she felt bonded to him in the initial, when they were working the show. So, you know, we find out, you know, throughout the series, we find out, you know, they were working the show to keep an eye on her. And then they extracted her when they saw that things were not good for her. Yeah. We do not know this yet. We do not know why, which was the brilliance of this book, was that we do not know why they took her. We just know that she was in a bad situation and they took her out and they would not let her go, and they were saying it was for her own good. Now, there was that car garage scene in the first book where someone's trying to kill her,
right,
and I think that scene gets forgotten a lot. So you have multiple threats, and then there's a threat that we don't even really know about in the first book that, like, we'll find out more in the second and third book. But I think in her brain, she was like, I'm a kidnap victim. I have to escape, because that's just what goes through your brain, and you're working on the scenario. And then she finally does escape. Doc helps her escape. She gets to the hotel. She sees the bigger threat, her uncle, who's a very bad guy. And she's like, why did I escape? I had a good thing going. It just, that's like my brain told me to do. And she chose to go back. And I think that was huge. I think she needed to choose to go back in order to trust them and in order for the relationship to move forward. Yet we still don't know why. Or we're like, why did she choose to go back? Why is her uncle so bad? And we're also like, why did they kidnap her in the first place? So yes, that's where we're at. So Doc did help her. Who was it? Was it Liam? I believe that where the second book starts, and Liam sees her, and Liam is very nonchalant. Like in the first book, he's the twin. He's sleeping. He's not really in the Vandals. The first book, I really liked Jasper the most, was my guy, the overpossessive guy. I know why everyone loved Vaughn. And then I mean, I like Kestrel too, but it was Jasper, and I was like liking Freddie. Book 2, I was just like sold on Freddie as just a kid, he was my dude. I'm just like, Freddie's number 1, and everyone else was gonna kind of move.
Yeah, like, there was a lot of moving around for me, like usual. Rome has always
Rome. I love Rome too. Book 3
he's always been on the top. Like Vaughn's there, Rome's there, Liam I want there.
Liam's there for me.
Like, and it was like I was just like, what with Liam, I just like wanted to know what his deal was.
Yes, and there's little peeks into him, and that said that there was more to him.
Yes.
Like, what's his deal?
Yes. And that's what I loved. And that's what I love about each, like the second book, you get so much more of the guys, because like you said, we get those flashbacks of how they get to into that home and how they meet each other, and all of it's freaking heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking.
So heartbreaking.
Beautifully written.
And like, it's just like written so well, because like, I'm there with these little kids when their life's falling apart, and then when they're finding each other, and you're just, it makes you love them even more. Like Vaughn and his mom. Oh my gosh, little Vaughn. But I picture him big, because he was like bigger than all the kids his age, and then even like Kestrel and his family, like the rainy day, the car accident, like that, and his teacher like being like, he's like, I should have let them drive, like and then Jasper, we get hints of Jasper and stuff, and that's when we get more of Raptor too. Yes.
Mysterious Raptor who they keep talking about, who's in charge. Yes. He's not there, he's in jail. And we're like, who's Raptor?
Yes.
And then we learn and we're like, is Raptor gonna be part of the harem? Because at this point we're just like wondering. And I'll say I've read, a lot of Heather Long books, and I had never thought of her as having a really big harem. I never thought Heather was gonna have a harem of like 7 dudes. I thought like 4 was like her maxed out with like 4 or 5. So then you're like, okay, Raptor, is that gonna be a thing? Okay, it's gonna be 9 books. Okay, maybe that will be a thing. So we're wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
So we get the flashbacks, and Raptor was there first. He was in the home, we learned, when Jasper gets there. So that they kind of started it. They are best friends. We have Jasper's tragic story, and we get their best friends, and they kind of take on the other guys as they get into this home, which is like a nice home. But then later, when they get older, they do move into a group home. But there's also this little baby who they mention, who's climbing around a playpen, that I think a lot of people dismissed.
Yes.
Reading that line. I highlighted that line, and I was there's a little baby that's like climbing around. Highlight.
Yeah. You totally said something to me, and I was like, wait, what? Like, because I didn't put it together. I did not put it together, because again, I was thinking, okay, foster care home. She has multiple kids there. So like, they're
boys.
boys, and then there's this little kid climbing out of the thing, and she just laughs and put her back in there. And
Well,
I'm like,
I wondered
okay.
Freddie at first. I did wonder Freddie. I thought, oh, Freddie. And then I was counting ages and stuff. And then we learned when Freddie came in later. I thought Emerson or Freddie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you didn't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was
yeah,
like,
you're smart.
somebody.
That's not what I dismissed. I was like, okay, and I was like, but I
thought Emerson.
All the backflashes, and those continue in book 3 too, which brings so much more of them growing up and so much more of why they're doing what they're doing, the big plan,
how they became the Vandals, why
how they
Raptor
became
was
the-
in charge,
and we get
Jasper
Doc.
in charge.
Too. We got a little
yes,
flashback of Doc too.
The Doc was this like juvenile delinquent that was like who they looked up to, but he left, and some of them like think he abandoned them, just like Liam. Okay, can we talk about the heartbreaking decision that Liam made for his brother, where Rome made for his brother? Rome and Liam both made, where Rome is like, he's a draw. This made me really fall for Rome. Like he doesn't want to be adopted. He likes his life. He likes his friends. He wants to draw. He doesn't want to put on the mask and be that kid for those parents, but he wants Liam, his brother, to have that life. So he tells his brother to go get adopted. But Liam, gets his rich life and he still comes back. They try to send him away and he just keeps coming back, which I love, which he continues to do. I think that kind of speaks to him now, where Jasper thinks that he's like abandoned them, but he keeps coming back. Like he's been doing that from the beginning. Now, I'm confused because Jasper didn't seem to be pissed that Liam got adopted. So you're like, something happened later on where Jasper feels this way about Liam.
Yes. Yes, that is a big mystery, because from book 1 that Liam's not in the group, and that some of the guys don't like him around anymore or are angry with them. But then you also know that, he is Rome's twin. And so they're kind of dealing with him being there because they're not going to separate the twins. And then you learn about that heartbreaking them being separated. But then I love them because as you get these flashbacks and stuff of them still being there for each other. I mean, even in book 3, there's a flashback of like Rome getting under attack and Liam comes to save him, and it's like that brother bond is there. And I'm jumping to book 3, so let me scoot back.
I know, it's okay. You can't help it.
It's like you're getting these hints, and you're like, what is happening? But Raptor's okay. Wait, no, that's book 3. Sorry, everybody.
Well, I know, and I don't want to forget that because we need to talk about Raptor and Liam.
Right. So
we gotta put that on our mental list.
But it's just, you're gearing up and you're like, why is it that's like the beauty of these books, is like it's making you think, and your wheels are turning. You're like, why are they acting that way, and why is he, yes, they were that way, and I don't know, there's just so much going on.
For the first 2 books, it's a big mystery of why they took Emerson, why it's an issue, why Raptor's going to be upset.
Who's Raptor? Why do we care about Raptor?
And she finally is accepting Jasper. They go on this beautiful date, and I'm like, yes, Jasper's getting everything, but can it last? No, it can't last, because what happens, they come back and Raptor's there. And he's pissed. Raptor is not a happy camper because Raptor was in solitary and they couldn't get any information to him while he was in solitary. And for I won't say too much, but look deeper into book 3 of why he was in solitary for Heather fans.
Well, let's go into book 3, because I can't say if I have a favorite book, because every book brings something. Book 3 is just really good to me because I feel like those flashbacks continue.
And it also changes it up with her living situation.
So much comes to light. Finding out the Raptor is her brother, or says that he's her brother, and her like, no. And then that evolution of her having to change where she lives. Everyone's following Raptor's rules.
And you're kind of getting mad at him about it. And it's hard because in the beginning scene, I cried. Because when you get Raptor's POV as a child, of him living with his baby sister and trying to take care of her as a baby, That was one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever read. Like that solidified the fact that one day I want to be a foster parent, because like that was just like holy moly.
Right.
I mean, I cried.
Yeah.
It was just, and the fact that again he pulled a Liam with wanting his sister to be adopted and have a better life. And he has to come to terms with the fact that he's mad at them for taking her out of her good life, and he just can't get it through his head that her life was not good. They were saving her from a bad life.
But they don't know all that was bad. They all know something's going on. They all know that she's been abused, but they think it's all on Eric.
Yeah.
And she's not ready to open up yet.
Some of them, I think, have suspicions. They know that there's more to it. They know that when like Doc and Liam, they knew that the uncle, like when she escaped, she's hinted at things. I think
Liam only knew the uncle, though. Liam knows you know what I mean? Like Liam, I think,
but he doesn't know. But they do know that like Doc knows that there's more to it, that she's scared of something, because he's the one that like takes her back. I think, and they've said it. A couple of them has said like there's things they know that there's more. I think there was even like a POV from Jasper where he knows there's something else up with her. So
that's the thing, is they're all trying, and what I love is some of the guys are saying, you know, like, when you're ready, I'm here to talk. I think, you know, and I love that they're like not pushing her, and she's kind of getting there. Like I feel like she's so close to being there to finally tell somebody something, because there was a couple incidents where she would like have freakouts, and they're like, something's up with her, and I'm like, thank you for at least noticing and like being gentle with her and giving her the time. And I think Doc really has a good idea too. So like it's a great support system. If like I get it though, you know, like, and I love it when the guys are like, you caged her again, and she's been caged in her old life. She was here and kind of caged. Now you moved her to Liam's and she's caged. And so like I like that they were like fighting for her. I loved how Freddie was he would do things to break the tension.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, oh, I love, that's what really brought me to love Fred. I mean, besides his heartbreaking, like the stories that we got of him, like,
which I'm really looking forward to him and Emerson, because I feel like they have so much in common and they just don't know it yet. Yes. And that's why they can find these beautiful, happy moments together. I think it's quite beautiful, especially with Freddie in his mouth.
Yes.
He's got
I loved it. Yes.
And this heartbreaking story. And it's,
well, it's all heartbreaking, and it's all heartbreaking, but it's so good. And there's so many good, like, happy moments too. And like, I loved her at Liam's because I liked her getting to know Liam.
And he didn't treat her like she was made of glass either. He was like pushing her and like taking her into like to fighting, and they had a very interesting dynamic. And I like Liam, like he's not coming from this where he's like straddling two worlds, like the upper echelon of being adopted into society, and he's working the society angle for the Vandals. They just don't know it because he's got this deal with Raptor, so he's working it. And then you're finding out in Emerson's flashbacks with her best friend and the guys that her best friend are kind of interested in. Liam is part of some society with these guys, so Liam is working for this unknown entity. We think king. Yes, we know they're in. We know that there's gangs and they're at gang wars and stuff. But oh wait, there's more. There's the upper crust kings, so that kind of trickle down into the gang life which they're in. And then you have the fact that Liam knows these guys that Emerson is friends with and knows. They're in the same circles. And do you remember this random proposal scene?
Yes.
Where we get a flashback?
What happened to that? I want to know. And I'm sure we're gonna get more of it slowly, because like it's piecing, you know, but it's like Adam proposing, and I didn't even gather it until Adam showed up in a different scene with Liam,
and I was like, the same character.
And I was like, oh, they're the same.
You're like, what? Wow. But wasn't that just such a mind blow? Like, I did not see that coming. I love that twist.
I love it. And then when we get more on Raptor, and when Raptor is going to have to go to Jill, and him telling Liam it's time to, you know, activate whatever plan.
Yeah.
And you're like, that started piecing so much together because I'm like, okay, like everyone is mad at Liam, but no wonder no wonder Raptor is like happy to see him and isn't interested.
And
Like, and we get why he
trust
trusts him, right?
with
Because they
her.
both had to give
Yeah.
up brothers. But
I
sorry.
think it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it just brought so much, the puzzle pieces are starting to like come together and you're like, oh, so they had like a whole plan. But so I'm like, okay, how did they know they needed a plan, and what is the plan? And like, I'm really excited.
I know it's masterfully woven, and I need more.
Mhm.
I mean, the ending too. Oh my gosh,
The
that
ending.
ending.
So before we get to
Heart.
the ending,
Okay, yeah.
can we
for it.
talk about the rat that Emerson is cautious of?
Oh yeah, we have to know that, like, that red flag. Why aren't these guys murdering him already? Like,
Well, they're not in the, I don't, every time she goes like, oh, he gives me the GBs, or he gives me a bad vibe, I'm like, why aren't you saying something? You always say something to somebody when someone gives you a bad vibe, just in case. Like, you always,
maybe she's scared they would just murder him. Maybe that's what it is.
maybe, but I'm like, if she would just say something, because I'm like, okay, he's involved, he's got to be involved in like the shipment issues or something.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, so I'm keeping an eye on that dude, because
I'm excited for that to actually play out, to see like what happens there. But I really love Liam, this book. Rome, I think, like, being like, I know everyone loved Rome. I liked Rome. I did not like Rome. I love what he did for his twin, but this book really solidified Rome for me too. And the twin, I loved their like movie nights, and I loved her like at their place, because I just felt like she had her moments with Vaughn and Jasper and all of them, and I just liked the mixed up. It really worked in this book's favor to have her like staying with Liam.
Well, and it made the ending. So she doesn't know that he has cameras in the house, right? He has to leave to go to work. He's asking her, stuff's going down, I want you to stay inside. And then she gets this package, and it's the pictures, and obviously she's being followed more than they realized, and it's the guys, right? She loves these guys, she's become their family too, and she just came to terms with the fact that Raptor is not lying and he is her brother.
She was always supposed to be a part of their group.
Yes. And then this is what I'm hoping, like, when she leaves and she calls Freddie, and she calls Freddie, like, and I just like, and then she says goodbye, she leaves, and then Liam's trying to chase her down, and when he's yelling her name to don't do it, and he's getting like tackled by security, and I could just see it, because like they were so close, right? Like they did that strip club thing, and they were like, I loved that. So close. The relationship was so slowly developing, and like I just felt for Liam, because he's sacrificed a lot. He's keeping his distance, I think, walls up with her, but like wanting to have her. And then this happens
too. So, he set up a meeting with the uncle. He knew the uncle was suspicious. When they went to that store, her reactions to the clothes, I think he knows that there's something, and then it's going to be very bad. It's not, oh, she's leaving us. He knows that good. She's leaving into danger. He is smart enough to know that. I think he's Raptor's quite the mastermind, but I think Liam's also quite the mastermind.
Yes, I think you're right.
In both of those, and that's another thing, I think, with her having to come to terms, where one of the reasons she was in denial about Raptor being her brother is because they said that the family name was so drilled into her, and I think she suppressed a lot of stuff because it was like her family name, and just I think it shredded one of the last bits of her childhood and her life, and I think she's has to come to terms with how horrible her upbringing was.
Exactly. Yes. And and so with Liam, what I'm hoping, I don't know if Freddie called Liam. I don't know how Liam got there so quick to follow her, all that. But what I'm hoping is because there's those cameras in the apartment that they'll be able
Mhm.
to see the package.
Oh, the pictures. I hope so.
I hope they see the pictures and realize she's not running away. She's doing this because she's protecting us, because like she hid it in the room. Now there's no cameras in the room, but like they watch the cameras. They're going to see her take it and put the stuff away.
Were you saying you think she doesn't know about the cameras? Because I thought she did know about the cameras, because when they had sex,
No.
she had sex in his house, and like she knew that he knew that she
No,
had sex
because
in their kitchen.
he never said that there was cameras.
Okay.
And when they like had sex on the dining room table, didn't he like find out? He walked in on them or something.
Oh, okay. I was thinking.
So yeah,
oh,
it was. She never knew about the cameras.
Okay, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping like them.
I'm hoping they like look and they go,
something.
this is what happened. This is why. And I think,
yeah.
I'm really hoping that I think I text you this. I'm hoping that she uses what Liam taught her to get away, to evade her uncle.
Me too.
And I hope she either ends up back there to try to get her cash, or I could see them getting to her and she's not there, getting to the uncle and then she's not there. And then they're finding her. I just don't want a whole book of us chasing her around, because I need them together. And I just don't want anything bad to happen. I'm scared for her.
I think we're scared what's going to happen to her. Mm-hmm. And we're scared of how long it's going to take for the Vandals to get back to her.
Yeah. And they're already a mess. They're already fighting.
I need them to know the secret, and I need them to like torture, let her have the killing blow. But I want this payoff. But I do think it won't be that easy, as they're going to find out and murder him. I think he's going to have some kind of plot where he's in the Kings or has something to do with them.
Do you think because no one knows who the top king is? And like Adam, and I forgot the other friend's name.
They're suspicious of the uncle. The uncle does not like them. He doesn't want them around her.
Right.
They don't like him. The uncle, they're suspicious of the uncle. I think they know something's up with him.
But do they, because they know Liam? I'm like wondering if somehow Liam's going to find out through them.
Maybe. I think eventually they will. Also, will this whole engagement thing turn into something? That's something else. And that's like her best friend, too. That's her guys. Because you think, oh, this is cute. Like maybe there's going to be a spinoff book or like a novella with Lainey and these two guys. Maybe they're going to come into the picture, and then boom, engagement. And you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not thrown in there lightly. That's going to come back to haunt us.
That's something. That is definitely something.
The Kings, all of it. But I do need them to know. Maybe if the villain can't be defeated in book 4, we can like at least have him beat up and tortured a little bit. That would be nice.
Right. I know. I need something bad to happen to the uncle. I need them to get together. I need more flashbacks. I just need more Vandals. I'm excited that there's still a lot more books to come. I wish the next one was out already, but February, not much longer. So
yeah, and they come out about every 3 months, so that'll be exciting. Let's see, we've got 4 books left, right? We have 3, so 4, no, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or we have 5 books left. Wait, 3 books out of 9 books, so that's 4
my gosh.
So this is the middle book. This is the halfway point. This book, so it's gotta be big, because book 4 will be the midway point,
kind of.
3 and 3, and then math.
Book 5 is going to be the midway.
Well, but then there'll only be
4 and 4, and the 5's in the middle.
Oh.
Okay, guys, you're watching the Bookover. We're doing math. Anyways,
I'm a pre-teacher.
But yeah,
you don't use that much math. Calculating.
Either way, I love this series so far. I am in it for life. I was even telling Megan I'm gonna have the hardbacks or the paperbacks, because I don't get paperbacks for all my books. It has to be a really special book to me somehow for me to get the actual book, because I read on the Kindle. So I'm just I love it. in a way, I curse that I started reading this series, but at the same time, I love it. But it's given me such a, because like I finished it a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. You can't stop thinking about it.
Everything I'm like, oh, like even stuff that happens in real life, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like this, or like I don't know. It's just, it's constantly there in my head. It is so good.
That's what the Bookover is all about, Sarah. You got to start those ones that give you the Bookover. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
And just imagine it. I have read them all spread out.
Yeah.
And I read that one a long time ago.
Right.
It's been a while for me.
Well, that's going to be me now. And maybe
I know.
some of us are other listeners, but yeah. Okay.
It's good. I like reading it like this because you get to theorize and you get to
Mm-hmm.
go in the group and like be like, oh my gosh, this happened. I like being on the journey as it's happening.
Yes.
There's something special about like sharing it with a group of people who are all in the same boat as you.
Yes.
When it's this good of a series. It's
exactly
such a great, beautiful series. And I have so many theories and yeah, I can't wait.
So for this one, I think we would need a hair of the book for this one. Mm-hmm. I can't think of anything sweet. I would have to do, and I was actually just thinking this today. I have to just do my go-to, bring me out of like a reading slump, even though this isn't a reading slump. This is just, I can't get my mind off of it. I think I would just read Hannaford Prep.
Hey,
as my hair of the book for this one. Get back in.
It's a go-to cleanser.
It's my cleanser. Yeah.
I think that's a great one. For me, I would go with Untouchables by Heather Long, which is they've got 10 books out, guys. 10 books out of 12 out. And this is one that I go back to, the palette cleanser for me. Because you're just, I mean, can you imagine being in a reverse Sam relationship for 10 books? And it's not a slow burn either. Like you get steamy scenes by the end of book 1. So, I mean, you're just so emotionally invested in these characters, just like you are with Vandals. It's not as dark. In fact, they do mention Emerson in the book because in Untouchables, they go to see a show and they see her performing.
Aww.
So they exist in the same world.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So that's important to note that they exist in the same world for all you fans. Maybe you can magnifying glass that a little bit. But that's definitely my hair of the book. You can just, especially hangovers and holidays, like if you just need like a one to decompress and not stress, that's a great entry into the Untouchable series. I mean, if you've read this series already, I think we all kind of go back to that one. But if you haven't read it, please start it. It is amazing and it is great and you will love it. It's got the beautiful writing, it's got twists and turns and all that good stuff. So.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks. I'm gonna end up doing that.
You'll make a dog into a 10-book series, and you'll be thanking me. You'll be thanking me.
I will be. We all will be. All right, everyone. Good luck. Hope you find your hair of the book on this one, and we will see you next time on the Bookover. Bye.
Yes, bye.